Hello. Not in the corner.
I can't go over no further.
I feel like I'm getting further and further out. They about to write my character off, y'all.
I can't stand
Hey. We are back at it once again.
writing your character off. I have to tell you.
Yeah, well, we watched them shows together, and
What shows?
the shows that we do watch together. Well, they might watch them and they might not watch them yet, so we can't speak on
The CPS shows? What shows you talking about?
the like the what's that called? Fire Country. It's called Fire Country, right? Those type of shows. Yeah, so we're not gonna spill no beans on no television shows.
Oh my
She
gosh.
trying to write my character off. You know what I'm at, y'all. Look, we over here. I only get one eye today.
You need your own show. Hey y'all. Welcome to we got a little issue up in the corner there. Welcome to it's fine. I fixed it.
It's gonna be one of them. It's gonna be one of those times, y'all.
We need a redo button.
Oh, man, I thought you was about to close it out and redo. I was like, nah, this is a part of it. Don't redo. We
Hey
back.
y'all, how y'all? Welcome to tonight's edition of An Unscripted Beautiful Life. This is
Mr. Henderson, Andre, or Mr. Beautiful. And I'm with, aka
I need a new partner. Look, a new partner, and this is tonight's topic is talking about, do we need a divorce? Lord have mercy.
When she said that to me,
so listen, y'all.
Look at my face.
Listen,
it probably was worse than this.
We was in the car, right? And I said, babe, I got a topic for Tuesday. He said, what? I said, is it time for a divorce? Y'all could have bought him for a penny. I had to clarify real quick
and
about
I was driving. I was driving. What kind of question is that while I'm driving? I almost took the whole car over the cliff. What you mean? No, it's not. Ooh. It's like, nah. But no, for real. I'm like, what?
So I had to clarify. Listen,
yeah.
if y'all were on with me, if y'all were on with me last week for the Love Me Challenge, you may remember that day 4 dealt with the things that we have to let go, right? The relationships that we need a divorce from. And so when I talk about relationships, I'm not just talking about a person that he was assuming, but I'm talking about mindset. I'm talking about your feelings. I'm talking about, person, places, and things, like all of the things that prevent us from being who we have been created to be. So that's where I mean, is it time for a divorce? Because I know that there are limiting beliefs that we hold on to that keep us complacent, keep us stuck, keep us from using our voice. And so the question on the table is it time for a divorce? Like, are you ready to divorce those things? Right? Those relationships. Are you ready to divorce that marriage that you have? I mean, think about it. How long you been in a relationship of self-doubt? Sir, I can't go over no further.
Babe, I'm just playing Tetris with myself. That's the only right. I'm good.
Better.
I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm just playing Tetris with myself while you talk.
So, even though a lot of times when people hear divorce, right, their first instinct is always it's about marriage, right? But there are things that even single people have to divorce yourself from, right? Relationships, things of that nature. So divorce doesn't just apply to marriages; it applies to anything.
It could be those dead end jobs that ain't taking you nowhere.
That one right
there. That's just holding you back from what your true passion and your gift is.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of just dead end jobs to where we just wake up and we just go to work
because we want the steady paycheck.
Because that's it. But before we get started, babe, can we share how our Valentine's Day was?
Okay. What did we do for Valentine's Day?
I know you probably we didn't do anything because remember we discussed this on Tuesday of that she didn't want a whole lot of things. So I didn't buy a whole lot of things. I got her flowers,
Chocolate and
some
stuff.
chocolates, some different types of chocolate that I thought she might like. But they didn't have her favorite, which was Kit Kat. But then she sent me a text message and she told me to fix the motion sensor. And the motion sensor wasn't in the house. It
Oh,
disappeared. Like, it disappeared. So she told me to check it a little while ago, and I did, but I didn't. And so it kept going on and off. And the point that I'm just trying to make is that I just want to tell you, babe, that I seen the growth of both of us because just a little bit of tension that we had, we was able to leave that alone within like 2.9 minutes. Probably less than that
yeah.
though.
It was like, are we really sitting here not even arguing, but
Just a
in a
disagreement.
disagreement on
Yeah,
Valentine's Day?
disagreement.
And it just goes to show, like, for us, Valentine's Day isn't just one day. And like, if we had
No,
been stuck on it's Valentine's Day, how that really could have taken us off course,
way off.
because he messing my Valentine's Day up. But
Yeah.
like, you get over it, you talk about it, you
And we
realize,
still went
like,
out
hey,
though.
right, we still went out. Like, you realize that in our situation, like, both of us messed up. It wasn't just him and it wasn't just me, of recognizing that, hey, what is this sensor for, and not doing the due diligence of figuring it out, right? It got thrown in the trash because we didn't know what it was
And
until now.
I don't even still know if it got thrown in the trash. You know,
Well,
but it's gone.
right.
But it's fixed. And just seeing how, like, even when we went to the Georgia trip, on how fast we can get back. Because I tell you, if I wasn't doing these classes, I would have still been mad with her probably right now.
What classes?
These what we doing right now. This
Oh,
helps too, babe. This really helps too. It's not just the stuff that we go to, but it's us getting on here and doing these things. This is beautiful, unscripted, beautiful life. It it tells you. I mean, it's speaking to you in itself just by saying unscripted, because anything can come. Like, our life is a movie that has a script, but anything can come and try to deter that script that you already
mhm.
have. So I just want to tell you thank you. That's it,
Well, thank you.
for putting up with my stuff, because I know I could be a handful and a half.
It go both ways, sir. It go
Yeah,
both
no. So,
ways.
but you got,
I get it.
I'll
I
speak out. I'll
receive it.
speak out on it.
So
I don't know if I tell you or no. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. All right, y'all. So back to the topic. Hey, y'all. um. Okay, so we're talking about
Sorry.
being a you good, babe. Talking of this is what we do, right? So we start off talking about what we need a divorce, and I can guarantee you before the end of the night, so we're gonna be talking about another topic.
We're gonna
But
be talking about National Geographic.
back to the iceberg.
Yes, yes.
But when it comes to identifying, right, the things that we need to let go, like, seriously take the time to identify a toxic relationship. And remember, when we say in relationships, we're not just talking about people. There's mindsets. There's Tiffany talked about jobs, the relationship, the unhealthy thinking. Like, there's
The
so many
unhealthy eating.
things, unhealthy eating. There's so many things that are toxic, or that are toxic relationships that we have gotten into, like finance, right? Like, maybe you don't even have a budget, and you're not sticking to a budget, or poor planning, or it's cluttered. Like, whatever your relationship is, identify any toxic patterns, whether it's people, places, or things. Remember that needs to be release and let go, things that you need to divorce yourself from. Because think about how staying in a toxic relationship, people, places, or things, how that impacts you from creating your beautiful life, right? You can't have a beautiful life and you're sitting in a toxic relationship with pain,
Mhm.
or a toxic relationship of unforgiveness, right? Whatever it is. So think about that. Like, really sit down and spend time. And it's hard
Yeah.
to identify toxic things, especially in relationships, because you understand that it's hard to let go of people, because maybe they've been around for so long,
Yeah.
or
Oh, they family.
their family, right? Because family sometimes they can be worse than some enemies,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
But understanding that the joy, the freedom that gets created by releasing that relationship, like y'all don't understand. A lot of times I think we block our own blessings
Dude,
because of the things that we're still trying to hold on to. It's like God is
mindsets.
trying to close the door, but we trying to take the key and pull it back and still continue to keep it open. But realizing that the moment we allow that door, that relationship, remember, people, places, or things to close, then God gets to come in and like really show up and really reaffirm, who we are. Let us know that, listen, that relationship had to let go because it was standing in the way of you being able to hear me, or whatever it is, right? Like, you got to identify those things. And it's not easy. So listen, make sure you give yourself grace in the process, because it's not easy.
It's not easy. They're gonna try to pull you back in.
They will.
It's like a magnet.
Yeah.
Magnets attract. So they'll try to pull you back in. But I always said, if someone truly loves you and they see that you're trying to walk differently, they'll let go themselves. They don't have to have the crab in the barrel effect. They'll let go and they'll say, okay, my timing is not right with your timing. So I'm gonna let go. If they don't want to let go, then you might just have to rip that claw off of that crab and keep that claw with you and keep it moving. It's easier said than done, because it could be family. It could be your best friend that you thought was your best friend from childhood birth,
Mhm.
from just someone you just met. It could be very, very difficult to let certain relationships go, or let certain restaurants go, let certain the way we get up. Maybe we might need to change our routine in the morning. You really don't know. You have to try new things, because we get stuck in this pattern that's a comfortable pattern. Okay, I get up in the morning, I do this, this, and this, and this, and then I'm good. But we might have to change that too. You might have to change, divorce your routine and try something new.
I was laughing because how you said pattern.
How I said,
Pattern. Like, you broke it down in 3 syllables, and I
that's
think
my
it's
baby. That's where we think she get it from. She be breaking down syllables all day. I didn't even know I did it. Like,
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Hey,
but
Leslie.
yeah,
Hey,
it's
look, Sadie's on here. She said giving yourself grace is hard. It really is hard, Sadie's, and it's
Thanks for
hard.
joining, Sadie's.
Yes.
Shoot.
It really is hard, right? Because I think a lot of times, and what's that the thing that's going on now, right? I ain't even gonna bring, y'all know who I'm talking about, with her relationship, right? That I think sometimes we stay in relationships longer than
Didn't
we
it
need
didn't it need to
to,
be? Didn't it's intended to be for real?
because of fear
Fear. That's that
of
word.
not having that person in our life, right? But not understanding that their presence in our life is really blocking the greater
Yeah.
good.
It's impacting in a negative way.
Like, okay, y'all got to put in the chat in here. How many times have you held on to a relationship because you didn't want to maybe be alone, or because
Hurt
they
somebody's feelings.
family, you ain't want to hurt somebody's feelings? But the moment you step out on faith and you step out in courage and you let that relationship go, that you saw your life truly turn around.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing, uncomfortableness. Nobody wants to be uncomfortable.
Yep.
Nobody. And that's why we stick to these patterns, because new patterns are uncomfortable. It takes time to getting used to. Um, but you just have to, one thing you have to do is keep that faith. You have to keep that faith. If you don't have that faith, then taking that big leap, you're taking that leap without no parachute. So you got to keep that faith with
We
with him.
we had I was attending an event this weekend, hosted by Yodel, and it was talking about how um, we have to do things sometimes in silence when we make
Ooh.
moves, right? Because the moment you and I do this
Me too.
quite often of doing things in silence because I don't want the distractions of, family coming saying, well, why are you doing that? Or, why won't you do this? Or did you think about this? And did you think about that? And so then when those questions and conversations start coming up, then I start questioning the assignment,
Second guessing yourself.
second guessing myself. And when you understand about second guessing yourself and the self doubt comes in, you kind of like, wait a minute, did God really tell me this?
Right.
And,
And that's what the enemy wants.
right. Or, you know the big dream, the big vision, the big goal that you have. And then people like, you crazy. Like, you
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, wait a minute, if God gave me the vision, if God gave me the goal, then it's going to get accomplished. It's just a matter of me now having to divorce the naysayers, right? Because sometimes, a lot of times, the way God has us move, right? It's big leaps.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's big leaps that we're taking, and we're sitting here like, wait a minute, I'm not even qualified to do this. Like,
Yeah.
God, how you asking me to do this? Like me with the whole conference. God, how you asking me to do a conference? But
Because
I
he already know you
understand
ready for
that's the part,
it.
right? Is you have to be prepared and understanding that all the different trials that you go through is really preparation, right? When we're going through it,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know what we're being prepared for.
Nope.
But then when he shows it to you, you're like, oh, that's why I had to go through what I had to go through. Because if I didn't, right, then this wouldn't be happening. And
Nope.
I'll give an example,
You wouldn't have
right?
been ready for that anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's an example of that for me. Um, y'all know I was let go at my job. I got notified in June that I was being let go. My last day was in July. Now, the conference, the Beautiful Encounter, will be 1 year and 3 days after I got my separation notice.
Let me see if I can find it. It's right there,
You
y'all.
point.
The conference is right there. It's right there.
And he had to show me, hey, think about like if you were still at that job, this wouldn't be. I can tell y'all now, if I was at that job still, I seriously doubt. Now God can do all things, but I seriously doubt that a beautiful encounter would be taking place because I
She wouldn't have the
wouldn't
time
have
for it.
had the
The
time
mind
for it.
space.
The mind, that was a good one because
Yeah.
listen, how many
The
times
mind
you
space, baby.
question it? Like,
And it was and for me to see you where you are now, I seen how you were working your accounting job. And of course I'm standing back there looking at the numbers like, dang, this is crazy. She doing it's a lot. But then to see her put that to the side and then her whole demeanor and everything changes as soon as she picks up the beautiful work. So I knew because she told me this a long time ago that she was ready to leave, but she wasn't going to leave on her own. There wasn't and there's no knock to Trina because it was that fear. Oh, I know I have this, I have this, I have this. But God said, don't even worry about it. I got you. Get off the bus. And she had to get off the bus and just hop on a train.
yeah,
And now this train is moving at a better pace than that bus was ever going to move.
yeah,
So all I could do was just continue giving kudos and gracious because I seen the shift. I seen the turn into it. And it's like night and day. It was night and day. She just was doing it to do it, the accounting job. And then now she knows what her passion and what her calling is. And it's just been nothing but great movement from there on.
thanks, babe.
Hey, I get you got what they say. You gotta call a spade, right?
I just, how I mean, I definitely know that 6 months ago that it was in my vision book That I did. I mean, it was in the vision book for 2 years.
The conference?
Yes,
Oh, see?
it was in my vision book for 2 years. And to know that there were some things, toxic relationships that had to be divorced. And one of them,
Don't say nobody's name,
I'm not
but
saying
oh, sorry.
look, I'm trying. You gotta be careful. I can't be careful. If it need to be said, it
Look,
need to be
this
said.
when I go to the monkey. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That you was going there.
No, well, no, but for me, one of the relationships that I had to let go was is self-doubt. Now listen, it still creeps in, y'all, because I'm still, going through the plan. Did you think about this? Did you think about that? I'm like, I didn't even know I need. So, that comes in, but just understanding, like, listen,
Make that checklist, y'all.
it's
Do
even
that
having a
checklist.
checklist. When
No.
you do a checklist, you
Yeah.
still you
Which I
working
mean,
through.
you could check off. Like you say, you still have your moments where you have that self-doubt, but that could still sit at the top because you didn't check off the bottom joint, get rid of that sorry job. Pow, gone. Moving on. Sorry, dang. Got rid of that job. Got rid of that job. Sorry. Moving on. Ain't no knock to the company or nothing. It was just it wasn't right for her anymore. So no knock to the company, no knock to them. They still doing their thing right. I mean, you still love the
I know what you
relationship
mean.
and
I
all
know
that.
what you mean.
But yeah, just have that. There might be some homework where you put that checklist. See, let's get rid of some of these. Let's divorce some of these things. I know for me, mine is gonna be eating right. Is not a divorce, but I need to eat better. That's why I try to cook so that way we're not eating out as much. But yeah, just checklist. Let's do a checklist.
That's
Let's
the
start a
homework.
checklist. Let's start a
We
checklist.
starting. Okay, so
Yeah,
y'all,
let
that's the
somebody start a
homework. We
checklist
giving it early.
early.
So y'all got your homework. Create your checklist of those relationships that you need to divorce. Now, remember, we talking relationships. We're not talking just people, places, and things.
Yep. Ideas,
Mindsets,
ideas.
ideas,
Um,
um,
because
all of
we
those
got some
things.
ideas that just ain't that's not lining up for what you need to do.
Yeah.
Or somebody gave you an idea. Hey, how about you try this? Nah, that's not lining up what I'm trying to do. So, and that could be a person, but also that person idea falls with that as well. 34 years.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I don't know if to say. Listen, I'm praying. Let me say that because I know I've been through divorce. I understand the process, so I am praying that God is there to give comfort and peace. Because I know that's not easy. So praying. Um. Okay. So the biggest thing. What you doing? You was praying.
Yeah, I was praying. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt
no,
you.
no. It's just a little
Um.
quick one because he don't need much from us. He don't need much. He just want to hear you say hello.
No. So I think, going back to giving ourselves the grace, um, and understanding that, um, to divorce some things, there is an undeniable amount of strength that I think we have to find.
And let's look at it like this. And it's not divorce doesn't always have to be a bad thing neither.
Right.
Let's not look at this as oh it's a bad thing. No, even in a situation even if you was to divorce a partner, it's not always a bad thing. It could be that y'all just outgrew each other. Y'all not seeing this, y'all not on the same vision anymore. Y'all not on the same path. So then y'all are just in it for what? So let's not take it as a negative, and in that case find the positive in it. Why am I doing this? And then see where that goes. Because again, you say you want to leave off in good standings.
Yeah.
We want to leave off as friends. Don't leave off of hatred. Because again, when you leave that in there, now you still have that negative. You have that negative feeling inside you, which we have to get rid of those negative thoughts too. Let's divorce negative thoughts, negative feelings.
When you talk about that, that's a good point because I think sometimes when we get into the different types of relationships and we stay on, right, we had said this, I think, at one point, like, not may not necessarily have I don't want to say physically said it, but at least thought about it. Like, okay, we gonna stay together for the sake of the kids.
We spoke on that.
Okay.
We definitely had this conversation.
I think when you're thinking about your relationship and you're trying to do what's necessary to make it work, but do you ever step back and ask yourself, should we have been in a relationship from the very beginning?
That's a good question.
Because I think
That's a good question.
if from the beginning of the relationship, if you had, got away from the idea of being in love and maybe looked at more of, okay, are we in alignment?
Yeah.
Do we have the
Yeah.
same goals? Do we have the same visions? Do we have the
The
same
same
idea about life,
parenting.
parenting
Yeah.
style, like all of those different things?
Financial goals. I mean,
Right.
it's a
It's
lot of
like
things
we
that
talk.
we just go in off the whim.
Yeah, we talked last week. I know Cynthia had mentioned this about the questionnaire, like belief. Like, do
Yeah,
y'all believe in the same thing?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Of understanding, like, if we have really taken the time in the beginning of the relationship and look past the infatuation, the love of it all, and really ask ourselves, is this the person that God has chosen for me? Right? Because if we have asked those questions, I could my first, that whole thing, like you so it, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think if we had just had the hard conversation, you really liking this thing,
Oh,
right?
man, I'm gonna let you.
He keeps showing the
I'm gonna
comments.
say, I'm gonna let you continue
But
your thing. But it was like when they gave me that mic on Saturday.
things are like the spouse change over time. Got it. That happens. And so, you realize, like, I know we never intend to go in a marriage with divorce as being an option,
Right,
right? But things happen.
things
People
happen.
change, situations change. And so, you find
Ideas
yourself,
change.
ideas change. You find yourself now asking, is this time for a divorce? And it's a real conversation. It's a real and very necessary conversation that needs to be had, because you never know. Like, if you never ask the question of your spouse, you never get to know, well, maybe they think the same thing.
Right.
And you think it's one-sided. And you just understand, like, hey, it's okay. It's okay
It's all right.
to think about it. It's real to think about it. But again, are we staying in relationships to something we should have never been in a relationship in from the
From the
beginning?
beginning, and so it goes back to that empty nest syndrome, to where, okay, the kids are now gone out the house. What are we gonna do? Type of thing. So, uh, yeah, that's where we have to go all the way back, so that way we don't even get to that point of the divorce. But again, time changes, people change, ideas change, things change. If y'all are just not seeing eye to eye no more, it might be just best to part those ways, so that way it's not toxic in front of kids. Or
But I want to throw this disclaimer out,
oh, go ahead.
because if you know us, right, you know that, like, you got to give it all you got.
We're not taking this.
So we're not,
Yeah.
we're not saying, listen, divorce is on the table for us, or if it shouldn't be for anyone else. But I think if one, have you sought out counseling? Sometimes, church,
Talk.
you can't talk to
Gotta talk.
everybody in church, right? But have y'all thought about counseling? You can't always talk to family members, because family members gonna choose a side. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you really need somebody,
Gotta bring some outside help in.
some outside help, a neutral party that will be able to be bold enough to send you to your corner when you need to go to your corner, and him to his corner. Because listen, now y'all just throwing jabs versus trying to really hear and appreciate what each person is saying. So listen, try it. Now, if it's situations of abuse, my thing, you got to get
You
out.
gotta go.
You got to get out, whether that's
Yeah,
physical or mental. You got to get out. That's just my thing. That's now again,
that should be everybody's thing.
these are the beliefs of Katrina and Andre Henderson and not everybody else. So
Don't be
listen,
in
we're
a
saying that, but
yeah. Don't be in a physical or mental
yeah,
abuse.
you
Don't.
gotta,
Nobody has to take that.
but if you know, in your relationship, if it is just maybe a couple of bad days, or try and do what you can to at least talk it out and figure it out, so that way at the end of the day y'all will still be able to communicate with one another, whether that is from a distance or not, right?
Yeah.
Like, do what you can, but know when you got to get out, and don't just stay in it
To stay in
to
it.
stay in it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're
For the
truly
kids.
unhappy,
You.
listen, it might be time to have that conversation. Like, you gotta seriously think about, and it's okay. Listen,
It's
Tiffany
fine.
says they think counseling stays in rotation because you going every day it's going to be a different level
Yep.
of disagreement. It's going to be a different level of discomfort
Remember, it's
that
two
you feel.
personalities
It's two
trying to
personalities,
come together for one.
two people,
Yeah.
and then two people that are evolving,
Yeah.
so then that
Yeah.
adds extra layers of it. And until you can decide, okay, we talked about this, I think, in the beginning, like, okay, is this a non-negotiable for me, or is this something that I can get past?
Yeah.
So um what else did we talk about from the challenge? What did you have in your notes?
Oh, so I did have something in my notes, but it's funny because, like I said, when Trina when Trina told me this, my mind went to that, but then she was like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the divorcing of the negatives. So when I go into the internet, because I know I do a small little research, I was explaining to Trina, I was like, some of this stuff that they talk about with divorcing your spouse also can pertain to you divorcing your bad ideas, divorcing the negative thoughts, divorcing all these things. Because again, it goes back to that that self doubt that everyone has. The most successful person has self doubt at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first thing that they tried didn't work. Let's think about the first computer. They'll go with Microsoft. Do you think his first computer that he put out worked? Do you think that he just the first thing that came to his mind he put it out there? He has self doubt as well. Everybody goes through this. It's a human trait. You just have to. We have to realign our traits and make the traits work for us and not we work for the traits. Because again, you're if you're self-doubting yourself, you're letting the trait work you and you're not working your trait. So let me get back to
Oh,
my
that's good, Tiff. Hold on, let me share that for those that may not necessarily see it. She said she had to divorce self-sabotage and that pity party. Listen, that pity party, you always on why me, woe is me, when all you maybe change the narrative around that and saying, well, why not me? Right? Why, God, why am I going through this divorce? What is the lesson in what I need to receive? But here's one of the other things, and I'm sorry if I'm jumping
no
in from what you
no, babe,
um
go do your thing.
when we talk about going through a divorce from either people, places, or things, right? Is making sure to give yourself the grace to go through that process, right? Because you need to create closure.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't divorce one thing and think, oh, I'm good. And then you get into something else. And now all of a sudden there's a trigger that brings you back to the thing that you thought you divorced. So when you are, if we talk in relationships, you can't divorce a relationship and not find the closure, the peace, the comfort of that relationship ending, that friendship ending, without really healing from that. Because if you don't heal from it, You find yourself in now a new relationship, and now is it a relationship or is it a rebound?
Ooh.
Right? And we don't want rebounds. We want like a true authentic relationship. But if we haven't um found closure in that loss that we suffered, if we haven't realized like, okay, my marriage or my friendship or whatever it was, it ended. Here's what I learned. Here's what I know I need to do different. Here's maybe even me saying I did nothing wrong, right? Because when we go through divorce or a relationship ends, a friendship ends, we are always saying, well, was it me? What did I do wrong?
Or what could I have done
Or
better?
what could I have done better? Or, why did this have to happen? But sometimes things just happen. There's nothing you could have done to prevent it
Mm-mm.
from closing. It's just the passage of time. Like there's that saying, like there's friends with you for a reason, a season. I don't remember what the third one was. But
Ooh.
if you think about that relationship and just understand, okay, that relationship closed, is I'm good. I understand, you know, I need some healing around this thing because you do not want to go into a new relationship, a new friendship with wounds. You've got to heal from it and understand, like, you know, time is going to heal all. And that's not the case, right? I think that's a big myth that people have, that time heals wounds, because some losses, some divorces never go, that pain that you feel never goes away. Like you just figure out how to live with it
Right.
and being at peace with it, but you still, it's there's still a sting. Like it's like when you get stung by a bee, like you can take the stinger out, right?
It's still gonna
But
be
it's still gonna be
there.
there.
Still
It's
have that
still gonna
feeling.
hurt. You're gonna still have the feeling, and just understanding that sometimes it's just gonna be there. But if you don't try and close that relationship, then you cannot go into a new relationship
Right.
until you've found the healing that you need to have, or at least as much closure as you possibly can, because there's some things you're not going to be able to fully have closure over, right? Maybe there was a friend that passed away. How do you get closure with that, right? How do you find peace with that? You can heal, right? You can get past it, but that still doesn't help completely with the loss of that.
Right.
Oh, that's good. Hold on. Tiffany
Mm-hmm.
says you have to heal because if you're not careful, you will hold back your full self. Yep, that is a word.
Yeah.
Yes, your full self. That's it.
Yep. And that's the getting those negative thoughts and negative feelings out of there. So as I was before we came on, there was one that says 16 signs, but it was talking about 16 signs that you may be ready to divorce your spouse. So I'm scrolling through the 16 signs, I'm looking at some of them. I'm like, okay, all of these don't all pertain to marriage. Some of them pertain to the places, some pertain to people, and some pertain to things. This one in particular, or it actually doesn't even have to be a person, but it says they sing your heart racing. And that's not in a good way, because some uh spouses can still send your heart racing in a good way. This one is uh when they're around, when that person's around, or when you're in that place, you just don't get a good vibe anymore. Yeah, you don't even really want to be around that person no more.
You stressed out.
You stressed out, and then when they may say something, you're like, that they sending your heart racing. It's taking you out of your normal character. It's time to divorce that situation. It's time to divorce that person. It's time to divorce that thing, that people, that place, that idea. If that's what's happening when you have that thought or you're around that person or place. Another one was you hide your real self. So you're not yourself. You are tiptoeing around this person, or you try to
Walking on
walk
eggshells.
walk on eggshells, or you just like I'm gonna be like this, but when that person gone, I'm gonna be my true self.
Yep, you got a wall up.
Time to let that person snip. Time to let it go.
Mhm.
As they say, once that baby's born, what you do? Cut that umbilical cord. Cut that cord. And it's like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing for that person that don't understand what you're trying to do. If that person is still standing in cement and you trying to get out the wet cement and rinse the cement off, but they still want to stand in the cement, it's time to let that one person stay in the cement. We
Mhm.
can always go back to them after we got ourselves together, chisel them out and see what they want to do. See if they want to. Do you want to take a step now? Oh, you don't? Ha! I gotta move on. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep scrolling because some of these, I was looking at, I was like, they don't all pertain to just divorcing your spouse. Some of them I kept going. Um, it could be this one said kids, work, friends come first. That's more so pertaining to that to the spouse of it. Um, Even this one could be friends. It's I and me, never we. Uh, because even like say you and your work partner, say you have a work partner,
I got a work
or
husband.
I mean let me rephrase that, a business partner.
Oh, a
Yeah,
work.
business partner, work partner. Sorry, a business partner, and y'all in the endeavor, and you trying to go one way, but they don't see it your way. They always see I, or me, and they'll never see your side. It might be time to divorce that business
Partnership,
partner.
yeah.
Because when you think about partnerships, some people can't stand on a business on their own, so they may need someone else to help them out. And if y'all not seeing eye to eye, it might be that time
Yeah.
to let that go. And if you thinking about it, you're like, man, we've been stuck in the same spot for 3 years and nothing has grown. It might be that time. It might be that time for you to take that leap because you have the faith.
Hmm.
So you got your parachute, you got your bungee cord, you got whatever you need to take the leap. The only thing that you don't have is yourself because we stuck in that fear. Um, this one you push back when others say stay. So and in the case, this one probably pertains more so to the marriage piece of it. Uh, they may stop being your go-to person. If you have someone in your life and that's your go-to person that you talk to, that you feel comfortable with, and now you don't feel comfortable talking to that person anymore for whatever reason, time to divorce. It's
Hmm.
it's time, or it's time to have a conversation with that person and see where y'all stand. Before you decide to just divorce it all, have that conversation with yourself. Have that conversation with that person. If they not if they not trying to
I'm
move the
laughing
way
at
you move,
Tiffany
then
comment.
let it go.
Tiffany, you better get them scissors away.
Yeah. No, it's serious. Like it's uh it's time for us to get back to self and not selfish, but just get back to self, wanting to do for self. Wanting,
Giving yourself the self love.
yeah,
Yeah.
for real. Mm. Oh, that's a good one too. This one could be forgiveness doesn't seem like an option. Another one that could be for a friend relationship.
Hmm.
Then this one right here, you already have an exit strategy, so use it. Use that exit strategy because at that point, if you have the exit strategy, you're already out the door. So you might as well open it and go. You know.
That's it.
I mean, we can. The therapist gets real with you. Go to those counselors.
Yeah. So listen, like we said, your homework is to really sit down and identify those relationships that are toxic, whether it's people, ideas, places. Like some of us holding on to jobs we know we should have been out of. But listen, don't leave your job until you got a plan in place, right? Like allow God to line up the next thing. Cause you don't want nobody quitting and you ain't got a way to still pay the bills. We ain't saying all that, but just
Ain't got no space for you over here, y'all. We're a little crowded. So make sure
nah,
you
we
have
got a
that.
couch. We
Make
got a
sure you have
couch.
that plan. You gotta
But
share it with Roman.
sit down and really identify, those relationships that you need to release, let go. Because remember, some of us are, we're holding on to relationships that we really shouldn't have been exposed or open to from the beginning. And so, if there are relationships that God has identified to you that you need to let go, now ask Him in prayer how to do that, how to show you how to let go,
Yeah.
how to give you the strength to be able to let go, how to give you the ability to surrender, right? I say that because, like, as parents, with your children, it's only but so much that you can do, right? They're going to still want to do things their way because they're grown, but understanding that our children are God's from the beginning. And so rather than you know, continue going back and forth with your child, continue, having a real, heavy moments, surrender them to God and allow God to be able to come in and speak to them, to cover them, keep them protected. So just ask God to show you what relationships need to be let go, how to do it, what you need to hold on to in terms of having the strength and the courage to let go. Because if He's told you to let go, there is a reason for it. You may not understand it at this moment, but He will show you one way or another why you had to let that relationship go.
Or the person will show you.
Or the person will show you.
Trust me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one or the other.
It's like what's the number one woke? You gotta be woke, stay woke, right? Like,
it's gonna be one or the other.
It's like
you might see it for yourself before, but again, if you do see it for yourself, that was God putting it right in front of you.
Yeah, you gotta
And
see the signs.
Trust me. It's some relationships that we are still a part of that God has showed us several times, and this is why we haven't moved the way we want to move, or why things haven't moved the way we want them to move yet, because we still have some toxic uh toxic luggage behind us.
That's good. No more. We don't want to be no more bag ladies.
Mm-mm.
It's time to let her go. That was good, babe.
Toxic luggage.
Toxic luggage. I guess time to.
No more toxic luggage. T-shirt on the way.
Here y'all go. Y'all must stop putting y'all in the studio to design stuff.
Yeah.
But
and then the back of the shirt to have a guy letting his luggage go. All right. So let's go. Headed to the airport without no luggage, baby. Yes.
Hey, you made me lose my train of thought of what I was gonna say.
You know it.
I don't know what meant to be said if it wasn't. So y'all got homework. Identify the relationships. Yes, don't forget we're doing a conference June 8th. It's a beautiful encounter. We are changing the narrative on beautiful. We're embracing beautiful. We're allowing the little girl within us to find, rediscover, reimagine, like all of the things for her beautiful. So I would love to see your beautiful face in the building. Go to abeautifulencounter.eventbrite.com and come on in.
It's right there on the screen.
Yes, buy all the tickets. Invite your girlfriends. Bring them on out. Bring them out. Bring them out. Bring them out. Anything else?
So, if we don't have nothing else, till next time.
We'll see y'all next time for another edition of An Unscripted Beautiful Life. Have a great evening.
See y'all Tuesday.
Bye, y'all.